Hello students, in this section we are going to see the mobile processors. Okay, so the processors are required to run an operating system, be it like a desktop, laptop or a mobile or a tablet or any other kind of smart devices. Processors are required. Okay, so they provide the necessary resource to start the operating system, run an application or do some certain task. Okay, today's smartphones and mobile processors are very powerful, so much they can compete with the desktop computer itself. Okay, so in the first generations, processors were only in single core systems. Then dual core came, then quad core, hexa core, even octa core are available today. Okay, so most processors available today are of 60-bit processors, but earlier there is only 32-bit processors, thereby increasing the processing capability and power of the device. Okay, so the ability to equip mobile processors with the GPU, that is graphic processing unit, has enabled the devices to get the best graphic output from the phone or have 3D capability, then virtual reality, then AR, augmented reality, 4K recording, etc. Okay, then improved processor technology also made modern mobile devices more power efficient. Okay, having more battery life. Okay, so we are going to see each processors in detail. So what are the processors available? Okay, there are different companies producing these processors. Okay, some produces processors for their smart devices itself, and some get in contract with other manufacturers to get processors for themselves. Okay, so these are some of the most common or leading processor making brands in the world. Okay, so for example, Apple, Samsung, Intel, HiSilicon, Nvidia, Qualcomm, MediaTek, etc. Okay, some devices may not be familiar with you. Okay, so this in the case of Qualcomm, Qualcomm is not at all this familiar, but they are a brand of smartphone processors, which is Snapdragon. That name instantly strikes. Same way, Samsung's Exynos, HiSilicon's Kirin, etc. Okay, so these are some of the smartphone processors or mobile processors made by different manufacturers around the world. Okay, we are going to see each one in detail. First, we are going to see about Apple mobile processors. Okay, so Apple does not manufacture the microprocessors or processors. Instead, they enter into contract build with another manufacturing companies like Samsung, TSMC. Okay, so they build custom made processors, and they after get the processor from third party manufacturing companies, they custom build the processors or program that processors to suit the design and performance expectation of the Apple smartphones. Okay, so they enter into contract with the other companies to make the processors, and then after they make the processors, they will custom make the processors or program the processors according to their devices power expectations and performance expectations. Okay, there are a lot of series with this Apple processors. First one we are going to see is A series. Okay, it's an A series processor used in some iPhone, iPad Touch, and Apple TV. Okay, it's a most common processors by the Apple products, made for the Apple products. Then the second generation of A series, which is A Fusion and A Bionic. Okay, so Bionic chips you may have heard of, because nowadays most of the Apple processors came with the Apple smartphones. iPhones come with this Bionic processors. Latest version is A14B. A14B Bionic processors. Okay, so latest generation of Apple devices with the artificial intelligence enabled, that is A Fusion and Bionic chips. Then S series. S series is a short range of processors which are designed to be used in Apple smartwatches. Okay, smartwatches comes in the last few years only. So A series is a limited number processors which is used to in the Apple smartwatches. Then W series. W series processors are used in headphones for wireless audio connectivity. Most of the cases, Apple AirPods, Apple headsets. Apple headsets are famous for their audio clarity and clearness. Okay, so used in headphones for providing wireless audio connectivity. Then finally T series. It is designed to be used in the Touch ID sensors in latest MacBook Pro. Only two processors are there, T1 and Apple T2. Okay, so these are used in MacBook Pro series. Okay, so that is all about Apple processors. The custom built processors made by using contracts, and then different series are there: A series, A Fusion, and A Bionic series, A series, W series, and T series. These are the processors built series of Apple. Okay, going to see the Samsung processors. Okay, Samsung processors are made in the brand of Exynos. Okay, so Exynos is the brand of Samsung, or a division of Samsung Electronics, which makes the processors. Okay, so it is formerly known as Hummingbird. Okay, formerly known as Hummingbird. It's a division of Samsung, which is a Korean company itself. Then based on ARM architecture. Okay, most of the smartphone processors are based on this ARM architecture or ARM architecture. Okay, then some of the processors in the series are Exynos 7, Exynos 7 420, then Exynos 7 Octa, Exynos 7 Octa 7870, etc. Okay, then this processor is equipped with the octa-core on 64-bit ARM architecture, latest one, and then with certain GPUs. Okay, then the chips are built on 14nm technology. 14nm technology, it's a patented technology from Samsung, and then it is used as CPUs for image processing, etc. Okay, most cases CPU means the central processing unit of a smartphone itself. Okay, then these processors are mainly used in Exynos processors are mainly used in smartphones, automotives, and smartwatches. Nowadays, automotive devices are also there. So most of the device in today's automotive, there is a smart touch screen or touch infotainment systems are there. Okay, so these automotive cases, infotainment in the automotive device field are also designed with using this Exynos processor. Then smartwatches also, Samsung's smartwatches also uses this Exynos processor. Then Exynos processors provide better power efficiency with the FinFET process technology. It's a technology which helps to reduce the power consumption of the device. Okay, so that is Samsung processors. Then Exynos is the brand of Samsung which makes the processors. It is formerly known as Hummingbird. Then Samsung's processors are based on this ARM architecture with a 64-bit octa-core, and then they are used in smartphones, automotive, and smartwatches. Then used as CPUs and for image processing. Then power efficiency is provided with using the FinFET technology, FinFET technology. The next one we are going to see is Qualcomm processors. Okay, so Qualcomm is a US-based company known for introduction of CDMA technology. It is the first company that provided processors or necessary equipment for the CDMA technology. Okay, Snapdragon is the brand for producing and marketing this processors under this Qualcomm company. Okay, then Qualcomm is actively involved in a technology related semiconductor designing. Okay, then they are nowadays they are more famous or responsible for the marketing of mobile processors and LTE modems, which helps to establish the 4G technology. Okay, so Snapdragon became a big name in processor market after it brought the first 1 GHz processor. Okay, so Snapdragon is the first company to introduce the 1 GHz processor first. Okay, before Snapdragon particular processor, there was only clock speed of this 512 megahertz only. Okay, then latest processor of Qualcomm is Snapdragon 865 5G, which helps to introduce 5G mobile technology. Okay, so which has the modem for 5G technology. Okay, so that is Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. It's a US based company. Then it introduced the CDMA technology and it also introduced the first 1 GHz processor. Nowadays, it is the first one to introduce the 5G processor itself. Then Snapdragon brand, it's a brand of Qualcomm which produces the smartphone or mobile processors. Okay, then next one we are going Intel processors. Okay, so Intel is already a famous brand in making with this processors for PC and other big devices. Okay, so Atom is a brand for the processors for smartphones and tablets. Okay, then Atom is the brand name given for low power consuming, low cost 32-bit and 64-bit chips manufactured for the smartphones and tablets. Okay, so Intel processors are mainly based on x86 architecture, which is more powerful than ARM, but consumes more power compared to ARM architecture. Okay, then Intel Core processors or Intel Core M is ultra low voltage processors. Okay, so it is a very low power consuming processor, which made the Intel stand out in the processor making companies. Okay, so initially supported only for Windows. Okay, so you know that there is Windows operating system for smartphones also. Okay, so initially Intel processors only supported for Windows operating system, but usually all of the operating system, all other operating systems are supported by Intel processors. Okay, Intel Core M processors offer 40% boost in the CPU and graphics performances compared to other processors. Okay, then next processor we are going to see is MediaTek processors. Okay, so MediaTek processors are introduced by this MediaTek company, which is a semiconductor company which provides chips for mobile devices. Okay, so it's also built on 64-bit ARM architecture. Then processors from MediaTek company are used in smartphones and tablets. Okay, then Helio is a recognized series from MediaTek. Okay, so as the image here, Helio P60 and Helio P140, etc. are different devices or different processors comes under the Helio series of MediaTek processors. Okay, then next. Okay, so the final one, which is HiSilicon processors, which is a Chinese company specializing in semiconductor technology. It is owned by Huawei, and it creates chips based on this ARM architecture. Okay, so this HiSilicon company is the largest domestic IC chip designer in China, and some of the processors are designed by HiSilicon are Kirin 650, Kirin 910, Kirin 920, etc. Okay, so this HiSilicon brand is famous by its Kirin series and Honor devices, and it is almost these processors are used in almost every device of Huawei devices, which is either it is a modem or smartphone or any other kind of network devices. Okay, so they are built on 64-bit ARM architecture with on 16 nm FinFET technology, and then nowadays this processor company producing octa-core processors capable of attaining speed of 3.5 gigahertz. Okay, so that is HiSilicon processor company. So we have seen about multiple processors, mobile processors. Each and every processors, they make the smartphones perform better, and these processors are the key to a better smartphone. Either it is be the processing capability or this power efficiency or graphics, anything you take as the feature of a smartphone, the processor is the key to attain these goals. Okay, so thank you, students. This is the basic introduction about processors, not very detailed introductions. So watch the video and carefully understand these concepts.